Hi, everybody. This is Lindy. Well, today I'm just going to talk. Sometimes I just talk. Well, a lot of times I just talk. And that's me. Okay, so let's talk about the one video I did simply because I should say more in the video and I don't. Um, my brother and I, after 2/11, my brother and my sister-in-law came up and apologized to me. That's the first thing you need to know. So we did have a relationship afterwards. We always had a working relationship. We always were pleasant. I was always pleasant. They were always pleasant to me. What they were doing behind my back was neither here nor there. But mainly what I want to talk about, that event, many events happen in everybody's life. Um, I consider relationships when they end, particularly when there's not words. Miss Sandy and my relationship ended, it just expired. We never had words. We never had an argument. We just didn't communicate properly. But she was in a whole nother realm from me. It was never going to be a lifetime friendship. It was a good friendship at the time, and I learned a lot, and I hope that she did too. But the reality is friendships expire. Not all friendships, but some friendships expire when you're just too far apart. My thoughts on all of this is very simple. In every relationship, there are two parties, or maybe three. Everybody has responsibility for the events that happen. It's not just one story. Or, I'm telling my side what I saw, but I also saw that there were lots of things leading up to this. My first mistake was even doing it. My dad said, don't do it, you know what's going to happen. And I said no for 3 months. No. Finally said yes because my brother talked me into it. I just felt bad. I thought, oh, you mean he can't open because of me? Well, that's not true, but that's what he said. The reality was he could open without me. He just didn't want me across the street from him, I think. And I thought that at the time. There were alarms going off several times, but in my blissful, positive attitude, I'm like, oh, well, yeah, that didn't really mean what I thought it meant. No, that didn't really mean, no. I was ignoring the warning signals. And I should have stopped and communicated and said, what's wrong? What's going on? Before it ever built into something it shouldn't have been. And so I was at fault as well. I don't think any one person is ever totally innocent. Maybe they don't carry the full amount of the blame. But in every relationship, there are two people responsible. And I guess what I'm trying to say is that, well, I know what I'm trying to get to, is I learned a long, long time ago to never speak when you're angry. When I become angry, I will walk away from you. And I will tell you I'm angry, and I will say, I'm not going to speak to you right now. When I am calm and unemotional, we'll have a conversation. It might be one day, it might be 1 week, it might be 1 month. I don't know. Only when I'm unemotional will I speak. The reason I do that is very simple. You say things in anger you never mean, and you hurt people, and sometimes you're vicious, and you say things that you regret. Well, I don't want those regrets. I don't want to say things in anger. I don't want to regret what I have to say. When I say something, I don't want to have to regret it later. And we always do. We lose our temper, we say things, we always regret it. We always do. And I'm not saying I'm taking the upper shelf or whatever. I just learned the lesson the hard way at a very young age, and I just don't do it. I don't speak when I'm angry. I will not do it. I don't want any regrets, and I don't want to say something that is going to really hurt somebody. and never be able to repair it. So when my brother and sister-in-law apologized to me after 9/11, 9/11 happened, and it was like 2 days. Man, they were there, talking to me, saying, "We're so sorry. I'm so sorry what I said and I did," which it's easy to forgive them because I love them, but I never forgot. And the reality is, when you say those words, you can't take them back. You can't repair the damage that was done. There's a wound there. There's a scar there. That scar will always be there. The wound may heal, but the scar is going to be there. And there were too many things said. And actually, I received a 3-page letter of the list of everything that was wrong with me from my sister-in-law. And to tell all that to strangers, you can't repair that. My reputation was just slandered. It was, devastated. Many costumers would never come to my booth, ever again. You cannot repair that. Words are cheap. When you say, "I'm sorry," that's real cheap, but the damage that was done can never, ever be repaired. So my message to you is, when someone's angry, be silent. Be silent. Because don't spout things back. I don't care if they want it or not. Be silent. Think about what you have to say and then go and communicate. If you want to. But don't say things that you might regret. I don't have lots of regrets in my life. Well, I don't have any because I don't think about it. But I know I have no regrets about ever saying something to someone in anger, because I don't do it. I just thought I would tell you that, because it's kind of like, I kind of leave you lingering sometimes, the Sandy thing. My sister-in-law got dementia. They got divorced, and she passed away. My father's side of the family, every single male gets Alzheimer's. Every single male. About 73, 74. When his wife died and they were divorced, he had a hat shop, and then eventually he moved. And he had a son that he had never spent any time with, because he got divorced very young and then remarried and just never. And he moved to where his son was, from my understanding, because he never answered my phone calls. He moved to be with his son, but I believe that he now is in dementia or Alzheimer's. So things just happen, and you really want to mend all your wounds and your ties before you get too old and you can't do it. So that relationship was fine afterwards. It was never the same, but we did have a relationship. Just a lot of you were wondering about that. And I don't want you to be too harsh with, I don't really like to talk about family members. I don't like to talk about conflict, because plenty of YouTubers tell you all their dramas. I told you the story because it was how I got to Sandy's. It was how I got lots of help from my brother and sister-in-law, how my business was built into the fact that I could do shows and I could supply clothing to movies and meet costume designers and movie stars, all this stuff. And it was because of them. They were there. They started they were huge. I was like a little gnat compared to them. They were huge. He eventually bought a huge old bank building, and they had a huge business. They did a lot of movies. So I was nothing in comparison to them. And they did a good job. Well respected in the business. They just was something that shouldn't have happened between us. That's all. So I just wanted to say that about, talking in anger and regretting your words. Can't repair it. Can't take it back. So, just so you know, I'm old. What can I say? Just thinking about all these things. I wish No, I shouldn't say that. We all say that. Wished I knew what I know now when I was younger. Yeah, we all say it. But I did learn very young to hold and control my temper at all times. So I'll talk to you next time. You have a good day. Thank you for watching. Camo.